Good afternoon, folks. This is Steve. We're here to talk about this rotary in-ground lift I rescued about 3 months ago out here in Land Lakes, Florida. It sat in an old body shop. I believe it's been shut down for 30 plus years. Uh, I met the owner before he sold the property. Lee, his name was Lee, and basically, I was told. This thing sat for 30 years, hadn't moved in 30 years, and we weren't sure if it was going to work. Took a chance on it. I was told that the oil seal had a slight leak in it down here, and so I ordered a new seal for it and everything. But I did have it removed. They came with an excavator and they dug it out and carefully took it out of the ground, put it on my neighbor's trailer. We brought it home. We pressure washed everything, all the sand and dirt and everything off the outside casing and the oil tank. This is a fully hydraulic rotary, model number Frank Paul 46H, fully hydraulic Mark V. It was built circa 1983, according to the data plate on this thing. I believe it's the factory order number, they call it. And forgive this phone, it's because this thing's got welds all over it. Starts with an L83. I think it's right here, L83. According to what I was told from Rotary, that's where it would tell me the date it was made. This is an 8,000 pound rated lift. It's underrated by 1,000 pounds, so it's generally it'll hold 9,000 pounds. But like I said, it's a Frank Paul 46H Mark V lift. It's got an aluminum plate here, and they don't build. Rotary doesn't build the old school air over oil hydraulic lifts anymore. Everything is high pressure, and they build them a lot different today. They don't have a low pressure lift like this. Uh, so we had it dug out. They dug it out for me. I gave them I think it was for scrap value about $300 for scrap value for this lift. And the lift itself, the yoke, the arms, it was all rusty look, the patina look. And so I took some other videos of this thing um, as I explained in part one how to change the seal on this lift. While the thing was laying on my garage floor, I changed the seal, made a little bit of a video. If you Google YouTube, rotary in-ground lift seal install. Uh, I made a short video on that, and I did have the tank sandblasted, and basically I repainted the tank, the outer casing of this piston, and put do-it-yourself truck bed liner on the outer casing before we dug an 8.5 foot hole for this in the ground. The controls here, you'll see that the floor is cut open. The sand is covering the pipe now, but I wasn't going to cement it until I made sure this lift stayed in the up position for 24 hours. And you'll see the line sticking out of the floor. It's 1.25 inch galvanized pipe, and I did put a gate valve on this thing for safety purposes because this is in my home shop. And it starts out in the oil tank. I'll show you behind the door here. Sorry about the mess back here. Here's the oil tank. It's 40-gallon oil tank. I got a ball valve there. You'll see it sticking out of the bottom of the tank. It's got a blue handle on it. I did put a ball valve on that. Here's the air line to pressurize the tank. And comes through here. I put a pressure gauge on here when I plumbed it so I can check the pressure to make sure when I test everything that the thing held pressure, it wasn't leaking. And it also tells me if I have a problem. So you pressurize the tank and then pressurizes the oil. This is the control valve for the oil. You pull that back, that red handle back. It will put the lift up, and it'll stop it on a dime. I mean, literally, you have full control of your lift. Your car won't go through the ceiling if you got low ceilings like I have in my garage. So basically, this is my home shop. That's my hobby shop, and I wanted to use this lift for doing my work on my vehicles, different hobbies I have here, picking up my golf cart to service the golf cart. I can put a piece of plywood up here and make it a work table and adjust it to the height if I want to do some welding or whatever. But So what I did is I put a new spotter dish here on the floor. That's the spotter dish. I got that from Auto Lift Parts LLC in DeKalb, Illinois, or Batavia, Illinois. And I also got the seal for this lift from All Lift Parts LLC in Batavia, Illinois. Talked to Joel, bought the parts from him. I think the seal was like about $100. And the controls, I replaced the controls on this lift too. It's a brass oil valve. I think it's a McDonald oil valve, and this valve right here, the fill valve. I used the old muffler from the original lift, but I replaced the valves because I wanted new. Um, I think altogether it was like $350 for the two valves, and I put them on. I just reused the old piping around the oil valve pipes for the inch and a quarter, and I did put a cutoff valve on the air line to shut the air off, just to lock it out for safety purposes. And the same thing, like I said before, on the oil valve, I can close that and nobody can use the lift. And so that's my in-ground lift, and I certainly like the in-ground lifts a little better for what I do. I'm kind of old school, and I don't like anything that's Chinese made. I know Rotary makes some nice above ground lifts and low rise lift, but I wanted a old school lift in my garage to have here, and so I did this project. It was about 3 months. It took me a lot of hard work and sweat, but I've got it working today, and I'm very happy with it. And for a guy uh, that didn't have to hire anybody to do the work, I just follow the directions that I got online for this lift, how to install it. Basically, I just follow the diagrams and so on, and put about 4 inches of cement underneath at the bottom of the casing down in the ground. This thing's sitting in about 4 inches of cement, so it's not going to go anywhere. I live in Florida. It's all sand, so when we dug it out, it was pretty easy. It was just a lot of work. Uh, Easy to dig in sand and clay because I'm from the north originally. So, but if you have any questions or comments, let me know if I can help you, or if you have any questions about installing a in-ground lift. I had one in my old house up north. I put it in 1999. It was a Globe, and it's still there. The people that own the house still use it, and I could have dismantled it, and but they wanted to use it, so I think they bought the house just to have the lift. The guy was mechanically inclined. He was a mechanic, and he wanted something to do work on his cars with. But I had a separate two-car garage for that with a 12-foot ceiling, fully heated, fully air conditioned. Here I'm down in Florida. I only got about 10 feet in my garage here. It's um, not as high as my other house, but for what I do, that's all I need. I can still get underneath my vehicle here, basically, if I want to. But doing front end work and brakes and tire work and detailing on my vehicles, this is perfect. I can open the door to my car and work under the dashboard if I want, run wiring for speakers or whatever. You can't do that with a above ground lift. You can't do that. You can't really open the door as well on that. So this is a general purpose service station lift that they use for many years. And again, this thing sat 30 years, so I'm happy it's working. Um, the guy that owned it, like he said, told me he was 95 years old. So he told me basically, you're taking a chance. But when we dug it out, the outer casing wasn't rusted, and so when I saw that, I'm like, well, we can make this thing work. So again, thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, leave me a comment or message. Thank you.